Hi, my name is Ron Wilstein. I'm a broker at Keller Williams Luxury Properties here in Park City, Utah. And thank you for joining me for this Greater Park Meadows market update. I want to begin by giving you an overview of what's been happening in the Park City real estate market, then we'll zero in on Park Meadows in particular. Over the past 12 months, there's been 1,292 sales in Park City. That consists of homes, condominiums, and vacant land. That's all real estate brokerages combined. And that is down 165 sales, or 11% from the year before. When we look at this graph here, you'll notice that I've broken this down into homes, condominiums, and lots or vacant land. We're looking back from September 2015 to August 2016. That's depicted by the red bars, and the silver bars are the 12-month period the year before. So you can see that the number of sales in Park City is down for homes by 9% from 540 to 497 sales. Condominium sales down by 15% from 724 all the way down to 619 this past year. And then lots are down by 9% from 193 to 176 sales. But let's turn our attention to prices. Everyone, of course, wants to know what's happening with property values. Here we're looking at medium home sold prices for the same period, September 2015 through August 2016. This time I've broken it into Park City and the Snyderville Basin, which is the county area of Park City. And we see that prices are way up, double digits in fact. In the Park City city limits, up 18% year over year, climbing from 1,337,500 as the medium home sold price all the way to 1,582,000. Snyderville Basin up 11% from 866,250 all the way to 959,500. So nice seeing appreciation among the homes. Now let's look at condominiums. Condominiums in the city limits are up by 14%, with the median price rising from 549,000 all the way to 625,000. And in the Snyderville Basin, a 13% increase, with the median price climbing from 385,000 all the way to 434,500. So good news there. Now let's look at lots. In the city limits, and keep in mind there weren't a lot of lots that sold in the past 12 months, but prices rose 5% from 600,000 to 630,000 median price. Snyderville Basin, more lot sales there, climbed 30% from 329,750 all the way to 430,000. So what we're seeing is that the number of sales is down, but the prices are up. And of course, supply and demand tells us that when the supply diminishes and there's fewer sales, then we expect prices to increase. And we have been reporting in our Park City Market Talk webinar, our monthly webinar, that our limited supply of properties is definitely creating more demand. Well, let's turn our attention to Park Meadows in particular. And over the last 12 months, the number of sales are actually down by 42%. So quite a decrease. This is a fall from 62 sales all the way to 36 during this last 12-month period. Park Meadows was red hot a year ago, and it's not for lack of interest. There are fewer properties here, but it definitely has dropped off as prices have climbed. We always like to talk about absorption rate, and what absorption rate is how we anticipate the current inventory of properties will sell based upon how the activity was over the past 12 months. So we look at the last 12 months of home sales activity, and we do a little math with the number of available properties on the market, and we make some projections. The absorption rate in Park Meadows homes have been very, very good. One sale every 10 days. That's very quickly absorbing the inventory of properties. There's currently 23 homes on the market, and that amounts to about an 8-month inventory of available property. Now, the National Association of Realtors says that a balanced market, equal number of buyers and sellers, is about a 6-month inventory. When it comes to resort towns like Park City and other resort areas similar to ours, a balanced inventory is about a 9-month inventory. So when we see 8, favors the sellers slightly, but it's relatively balanced now. Home selling prices in the Park Meadows areas have been within a range of 785,000 all the way to 2,850,000. That's quite a range, with the medium sold price being $1.5 million, which is actually up 9% from the previous year where it was $1,375,000. So it's good to see the prices climbing not only overall in the marketplace but specifically in Park Meadows. Turning to lots, lot sales year over year is unchanged. There were 5 lots sold in the past 12 months. There were 5 the year before, so stable in terms of our lot market. When we look at absorption rate, lots take longer to absorb naturally, and there's fewer sales, particularly within Park Meadows. And we're seeing that lot sales absorption rate about 1 every 73 days. There's currently 7 lots on the market, and that equates to a 18-month inventory. So if you were putting your property on the market, it was a lot, and you'd want to price it pretty aggressively so that you wouldn't have to wait, a year and a half to sell your property. Prices for lots in Park Meadows have ranged anywhere from $525,000 all the way up to $970,000, with the medium sold price being $667,000. Now that is a decrease of 27% over the previous year, which was at $916,500. But I don't want you to think that the market is plummeting in terms of raw land in Park Meadows. Remember, we're talking about 5 sales, and if the 5 sales of lots this year compared to the previous year were radically different lots, let's say the previous year there were superior views and superior locations. This is Greater Park Meadows. In this past 12 months, there were lesser locations in terms of quality of lots. That could account for a 27% decrease. So I don't want you to draw a lot of conclusions from this, just what the data is showing right now, but we'd have to look at it individually if that was important to you. If you're interested in receiving the specific details on the homes and the lots that made up the summary data I just presented, then send me an email at ron@thewilsteinteam.com, and I'm happy to forward that to you. I do want to also show you how you can get information on the Park Meadows market whenever you wish. We typically do these webinars about every 6 months, and we post them on our website, but you don't have to wait for the next webinar. All you have to do is go to viewparkcityrealestate.com/Park Meadows, and you will be able to make a request for a current data if the webinar is a little bit outdated. In fact, let me just show that to you real quickly. I'm popping up here our Park Meadows page on viewparkcityrealestate.com. If I just scroll down a little bit here, going past some general information about Park Meadows, then I get to these buttons here. Of course, the green button says watch a webinar for an update on Park Meadows real estate. That's in effect what you're doing right now. The blue button, however, is the one I want to bring your attention to. Send me current sales data on the Park Meadows area. So you can get that anytime you want. You simply click that button. That takes you to a page where it says current sales data request. Fill in the information. It'll take you less than a minute. Type in the comments, send me information on Park Meadows, or if you want to even dial it down to your specific subdivision in Park Meadows, that's fine. And then hit the green submit form. That's all you got to do, and the information will come to me right away. So it's quite simple. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about Park City's changing market. There's definitely changes occurring here, and we report, of course, on our monthly webinar how the market changes from month to month to month, looking back a year each time. But we are going through a change here. We are moving from a limited supply, double-digit price appreciation market to, well, frankly, a frequently overpriced market with buyers choosing not to pay the next record high sale price. And so there's a bit of buyer resistance that we're encountering these days, and that's understandable. We've had steady increases in appreciation, and the chart kind of looks like this. Well, what's happening now is buyers are afraid of paying what sellers want today because they realize it's a record high price, and what they fear is that the market may drop out and they might spend that price today, and in 6 months their property would be worth less, and nobody wants that. So this is creating some resistance in buyers pretty much across the marketplace. Now, this market sentiment has been created by 2 things. Number one, national news is anticipating real estate slowdowns, and this doesn't help. It's not uncommon to see headlines like this: Aspen real estate in a first ever sustained nosedive. And I don't know if that's a bit of an exaggeration, but that headline doesn't help. Here's one from Luxury Daily: faltered economy brings real estate market down with it. Or here's an article about Manhattan luxury real estate, that they're concerned about a slowdown there. Or here's another one: overpriced homes may slow down LA's market. So we're seeing these national headlines, and because so many of our buyers are from around the country, they tend to project that onto Park City as well. This is related to this, and that is the buyer's belief that Park City's prices can't keep going up at the pace we've seen in recent years. We have, of course, been reporting, as we did earlier on this webinar, that we're seeing double-digit appreciation among home sales. We're seeing it among condominium sales. And when we see this over a sustained period of time, can't help but wonder, how long is this going to go on for? And so this is causing buyers to pause a little bit. Now, from a seller point of view, what does this mean? Well, number one, property owners who want to sell need to not be so aggressive, and in some instances maybe greedy is the right word, in pricing their property for sale. It's natural, because we've seen prices go up, that somebody wants to sell their property and put it high enough that they're going to get a top price from it, maybe set a new record sale price, and that's what's occurring. But that I think you're going to need to adjust that a bit in today's marketplace. Another thing we're realizing here is that once sellers start negotiating with interested parties, they need to consider, as part of the negotiation, especially if it's not going the way they want in terms of price, that if they don't put together a deal, they may not see an offer for a while. And it could be, by the time they see one, they might have to look at a lower price in the future. So just have to think about that. That it isn't something we've been discussing in recent years, but I think you do need to discuss it now. Carefully consider a total market overview analysis and price your property reasonably to sell. All real estate agents do a CMA, or a comparative market analysis. We do that. In addition, we do a total market overview, where we're looking from a buyer's point of view of what other properties could a buyer consider in perhaps different neighborhoods or in different condominium properties, in addition to the one they're considering as your property, say. Because that gives you a better idea of what buyers are really doing. When you look at that and you make decisions about pricing your property accordingly, then you'll make good decisions on pricing it at the right price. And then finally, I'd say negotiate the highest and best price you can, and be content with that. Sometimes people walk away a little disappointed, but you need to realize no single sale will change your life. You want to get as much as you possibly can, but don't go away angry. Negotiate a good price and then move on. This leads to a little bit of discussion on my 10% pricing rule, and so I'll share it briefly here and point you to a more detailed webinar if you're interested in more information. Here's basically how it works. An acceptable list price in today's market, and certainly the marketplace over the last couple of years, has been, you can price up to 10% above the fair market value. If you go higher than that, you're moving into the unacceptable list price range. You may not sell your property at all. And today's market is sort of testing that 10%, but it is still true, but we'll keep an eye on it. Think about it this way, that if you determine what the fair market value of your property is, if you put your home or your condo on the market at that price, you're likely to sell in the first 3 months. In fact, it wouldn't be surprising if you sold it very quickly and perhaps had multiple offers. If, however, you choose that 10% because you want to get the highest possible price and you want a little bit of room to come off in negotiations, totally understandable, that's fine, but it may take you 6 to 9 months to sell your property. If that's a reasonable time frame, that's great. If you want to sell it faster, then you perhaps might have to list it 5% over fair market value, and you're more likely to sell it in 3 to 6 months. So this is how you kind of process this information, figure out what's most appropriate for your situation. What you don't want to do is you don't want to price your property above that 10% mark, because properties rarely sell at that point. And if that's your objective, you're better off not putting it on the market at all. waiting until it's more important for you to sell. So what does all this mean? I'd say that for the future of Park City real estate, it's time to adapt. We're seeing these changes. And in particular, of course, if you're thinking of selling your property, you don't want to sell your property for less than what you should get in today's market. Absolutely. But beware of asking too much. By doing so, you might find yourself sabotaging your ability to sell your property at all. Just about every day in my emails, I see emails from other realtors who have listed properties, and they say something like this. And these are actual emails that I got just this past week before writing this webinar. Great price reduction, now $977,000. Okay, they're trying to bring attention to a recent price reduction. What you don't see, because it's a little smaller on this display here, is it's a $52,000 price reduction. Now that means they were priced way too high if you're going to come off $52,000. Here's another one. Seller says bring all reasonable offers. Well, that's fine, but what they're not telling you is that they have over a period of time reduced their price $195,000. Now that's over a couple different price reductions. They started too high. Here's another one. $50,000 price drop for Labor Day. This one just came out. Well, they dropped their price a little bit over $50,000. You know, when you're making that large of a price reduction, you started too high. And so it's important that you price your property correctly. And you can watch a video where I go into the pricing comments in greater detail. There it is, viewparkcityrealestate.com/price right. Check it out. That may help you if you think of selling your property. If you want our input on how your property compares to similar properties that have sold, give us a call. We're happy to come out, visit your property, meet with you. There's no cost, there's no obligation, and you don't have to be thinking of selling your property. You can just be curious. We like to keep people updated through our webinars, through our pricing consultations, so that they know where the market's at. If you are curious, however, and you want to know what your property is worth in today's market, easiest way is go to our website, viewparkcityrealestate.com. On the home landing page, scroll down to the Learn What Your Property is Worth section. Complete the short form there. Let me pop it up for you real quick. There's the website. All you do is scroll down. You go past that search, your Park City, or start your Park City search. Go down past some of our listings and our webinars to right here, Learn What Your Property is Worth in today's market. Put in your property address. Answer a couple of these questions that are simply pull-down menus, so you can do them really fast. Put in your contact information, your first name, last name, your email address, and then when you get to this section right here, which says I'm interested in additional information, choose this first one that says contact me for a free property value assessment. Choose any of these others if they're of interest to you, and click the green form, and that will come to Doug and me, and we will contact you and get you the information that you're after. So it's really just that simple to get a price valuation. Have any questions at all? Send me an email, ron@thewilsteinteam.com. Doug's not on this webinar, but you can send him questions, doug@thewilsteinteam.com. If you want us to call you, include your phone number or preferred time, and we'll do so. And I want to remind you, as always, every single month we have our monthly Park City Market Talk webinar. We cover in greater detail the overall Park City market in terms of prices and sales. That way we can watch these trends. And we cover topics that are very timely about the Park City market overall. So check it out, and they're archived on our website if you want to see some past ones. Well, with that in mind, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this webinar, and good luck with your real estate investment.